me, like you said, the fight was scheduled for the Nassau Coliseum. And then we got lucky that I want to thank you all for coming. This is a press conference kicking off Ruslan Provodnikov's defense of his world title with Chris Algieri, the undefeated Chris Algieri, promoted by Joe DeGuardia Star Boxing. I want to thank everybody for being here. The event, as you probably all know by now, will be at the Barclays Center. It is on June the 14th. It'll be telecast live on HBO after dark. The event starts at 10 o'clock with the opening bout, which would be Demetrius Andre defending his WBO junior middleweight world title against the #1 contender, Brian Rose. But this press conference is about Chris and Ruslan. On the end, over here to my right, I'd like to introduce Barry Baum, who's the Executive Vice President and Chief Communications Officer for the Barclays Center. So Barry, why don't you say a few words on behalf of the company and who's hosting our great event.
I think this can reach, right?
Thanks, Artie. We are very excited to host this fight on June 14th. First, I just want to thank Golden Boy, because Golden Boy was our boxing partner and enabled us to hold this fight, and we appreciate that. We are very excited. As Brett Yormark, our CEO, mentioned yesterday, the owner of the Nets and the minority owner of Barclays Center, Mikhail Prokhorov, really was excited for this fight. So it was moved from Nassau to Barclays Center, and we're very excited about that. And we also hope that this fight on June 14th occurs around the same time of the Nets championship game in Brooklyn. So that would be very exciting to have two great events at Barclays Center. We really are, we think having this fight in Brooklyn is a perfect spot. Obviously the huge Russian community here, over 100,000 Russian Americans in this area, and we think that this is going to really resonate in Barclays Center. So that's really all I have to say about the fight. We're very excited. We appreciate everybody here today, and back to Artie.
Thanks, Barry. On behalf of HBO, Peter Nelson is here, and before I give Peter the microphone, I don't know how many were here yesterday at the Barclays Center when we had the first press conference, but the reason why the fight is happening is because of Peter Nelson. Peter Nelson gave Ruslan Provodnikov 13 months ago an opportunity to fight Timothy Bradley. And I said it then, and I said it now, I'm going to say it, I said it yesterday, I'm going to say it again. He saw that he had the ability to put on a good fight. And what happened was he became the star. We thought he won the fight, but whatever happened, it was a great fight. Now he's given the same opportunity to Chris Algieri, who's also a very good fighter, undefeated. And I said it yesterday, and it has to be repeated. Doesn't know how to lose, hasn't lost, and that goes a long way with a professional athlete. Hasn't tasted defeat yet, and that's a very dangerous man to be approaching in a boxing event. So it's going to be a great show. So I'd like to turn it over to Peter to say a few words on behalf of HBO, and then from there I'll give it to my buddy and partner with another fighter on the card, Joe DeGuardia, on behalf of him and Chris. Over.
Thank you, Artie, and thanks everyone for coming out. I want to thank all members of the press who have been covering the buzz surrounding this fight. It's coming up. We couldn't be more thrilled to have such a quality event happening at such a quality venue, and there are a lot of partners to thank, principally Artie Palullo, Banner Promotions, Joe DeGuardia, Top Rank, Golden Boy for being a much appreciated accommodation to land us at the Barclays Center. In addition to Lou Bella and all the fighters and trainers and managers and their teams associated with the undercard. It's going to be a tremendous event on Saturday, June the 14th. You know, I already mentioned us being able to work together to try to furnish the opportunity that really set Ruslan's myth in orbit here. as he's on the first title defense after defeating Mike Alvarado in one of the most spectacular fights that I've ever seen live against Timothy Bradley before it. But these fighters create their own opportunities, and their promoters and their managers, their trainers, their teams, they work hard and apply their craft day in and day out. And they spend 2 months in training, away from their friends, away from their families, and put in tremendous effort and work in order to provide the kinds of fights that the fans want to see. And this is one of them. And when we began circling around this fight, we knew that we would be in for something special, and that's fully what we anticipate on June the 14th. So I want to thank both these fighters and their teams. They've each, in their career trajectories, taken risks that have landed them here. And we couldn't be more thrilled that they chose to do that, because those are the types of fighters that take risks, that take on opportunities when presented to them, that don't wait on the perfect set of circumstances to align, that go after the best that are out there in efforts to win the fans' respect and craft their own legacy. Those are the fighters that we want to see. And we couldn't be more excited for June the 14th, because we believe that the furthering in each of their careers is going to occur on that night. So on that note, I'm going to turn it back to Artie once he's done with Vadim here. Artie, thank you. We look forward to it.
Thanks, Pete. I don't need a microphone. Thanks, Pete. I also wanted to thank Oscar and Richard. I did it yesterday, and I don't want to be remiss in not doing it today. When we were able to bring the event to the Barclays Center, Brett said, Artie, I want to call Golden Boy and get their blessing. And I said, I'm okay with that. So Richard and Oscar, who have the exclusive in the building, were very gracious in allowing us to bring this event there. So I said it yesterday, I said it to the media, I want to thank him again publicly. The event will be on Russia 1, live in Russia, and throughout all the CIS territories. It's going to be a great event. They will be calling the fight live at ringside, as well as HBO. I hope you don't mind me giving a plug, but it's overseas, the network. It's not like the other guys. So, but it's going to be a great show. The event will be aired around the world, and also, when I say all the world, also in the UK, because of the contingency of the British fighter in the card. So now I would like to turn it over to Joe DeGuardia, the president of Star Boxing. I alluded to it a few minutes ago. We are partners in one of the other fighters on the card, Demetrius Andre, the Olympian. So it was very easy to pick up the phone with a friend and make an opportunity happen for all of us with Chris Algieri. So here's Joe DeGuardia.
Thank you, Artie. Likewise, it's a pleasure to be on this card and at such what is now becoming a storied venue here in Brooklyn, the Barclays Center. And it's really become a top-notch boxing location, so it's great to be in a premier venue for this fight, which I think is going to potentially be one of the fights of the year, based upon a clash of styles. And also being on the premier network, HBO, and doing it obviously with a good partner and friend, Artie Palillo, and Banner Promotions, who had the foresight years ago to go to Russia. And he always told me he loves the Russian people, loves Russia, and he's brought it over here. And it's pretty fitting, I guess, that we're in Brooklyn, because I don't think I've ever done a press conference tour where we did 2 press conferences in the same city. And Brooklyn is that kind of city where we needed to do 2 in Brooklyn. So with that, I'm pleased that I'm able to introduce to you a man who's going to be fighting against your Siberian tiger, Ruslan Provodnikov, and that is Chris Algieri. And Chris has been really developing his craft over the years, has sold out the Paramount Theater the Paramount in Huntington, which is a wonderful venue in Huntington where Chris comes from. Sold out every single show. The reason why he sells out is because he's a real character. He's a character in that he's got all the types of makings that makes a promoter proud. Great inside the ring, smart chess player type of boxer. He's got the firepower when he needs the firepower. He throws hundreds of punches around. One of the most active punchers in the business. And former kickboxing champion. All the credits out inside the ring and outside the ring. He's a Stony Brook graduate college. He's put his medical school studies on hold, where he wants to become a doctor, but he put that on hold to pursue his boxing career. And he's a testament to the kind of character that exists in boxing. And I'm real proud of him and his accomplishments, both inside and outside the ring. And I'm certainly looking forward to him showing those accomplishments and bringing it even further on June 14th when he fights for the championship of the world against Ruslan Provodnikov. So at this time, we're going to introduce undefeated from Huntington, the pride of Huntington, Chris Algieri.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody here. Thank all the media for coming out, and this is a beautiful setup. I want to thank all the promotions like I did yesterday. My promoter, Joe Guardi of Start Boxing, Banner Promotions, Artie Puro. I want to thank the Barclays, such a beautiful venue. Yesterday was the first time I'd ever actually been there, and it's immaculate. And also the Premier Boxing Network, HBO, bringing this all together. It's a pretty amazing event. It's starting to become a pretty amazing event, and it's definitely exciting, and it's all happening pretty fast, which is good. But and also lastly, I want to thank Ruslan for the opportunity. He's taking a risk, taking a fight like this. I'm taking a risk because the opportunity came up, and I think Peter said it perfectly. We're two fighters that work hard and are willing to risk everything for the opportunity, for the chance to approach greatness. So I think this event on June 14th will be just that. It's great for boxing. It's great for Brooklyn. It's great for just the whole sport in general. So I think this is going to be a great event. Really looking forward to the 14th, and I'm looking forward to more people knowing who I am and realizing what we bring to the table. That's about it. Thank you, guys.
I said it yesterday, and I wanted to just repeat a quick story how I met Ruslan. And then I'm going to turn it over to Vadim and Ruslan. 7 years ago, I went to Russia, like Joe said, and I was looking to find talent. It's like our world is the world, and the Soviet Union, Russia, has tremendous boxers. It's a huge country. So I became friendly with a couple of promoters in Russia, and I get off the plane, and it's got to be 10 o'clock in the morning, and they're in the lobby drinking vodka, waiting for me. So everybody who knows me, I said this all yesterday, they know I like to have a drink, but usually not at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I'm drinking vodka, I'm smoking cigars, and that's what I really like. And he said, we got all these fighters. So I spent 3 weeks in Russia, 2.5 weeks in Russia, and one of the young fighters I found was Ruslan Provodnikov. And at the time, I had two other fighters who were stars on HBO, that other network. Acelino Popo Freitas from Brazil and Ricky Hatton. So I started putting him on Ruslan in his first 4-round fights on their undercards. Freitas comes up to me. He says, you got something already. After Ricky's fight at the Paris, he says, you got something already. And then he went on to do what he's done today. But what really makes me more proud of him than anything is that when he lost to Herrera, and it was his first loss, I think it was 18-0, I think, something like that, 17-0, 18-0, in Las Vegas at the Thomas and Mack. That can affect a fighter two ways, or any athlete, that they either get better, get more focused, or they have a letdown and they give up, or if they don't become what they should have become. Well, what he did was he got better. And Vadim and him went out and found Freddie Roach, and then they got their acting gear even better. And then he went on to win the fights that you need to win and perform in in order to become a star. They have to win. You want to be a star, you want to make a lot of money, you want to do well for your family, you got to win. We're in the win business. That's how it is. It doesn't, they have a no-cut contract. It's not like when Donovan McNabb's playing for the Eagles, he gets $10 million a year if they're 5-10, or they're 10-5. He makes more only if he wins. So he showed everything that he was with Bradley, and then went into Alvarado's hometown, great fighter, tough guy, and just did a tremendous job. Where his mom, I think, your mom saw him for the first time. His mom was ringside for the first time. So as you can tell, I'm as proud of him as Joe is of Chris. They're great kids. It's a great fight. They have everything on the line. I now want to introduce Vadim. He's the manager who tolerates me because he knows I'm crazy. And then Ruslan Provodnikov. Vadim, this is your show now. And it should be in Russian now. Take over in Russian. Yeah, whatever you want to do, Russian and English. I would start in Russian.
Ну, в первую очередь хочу поприветствовать всех. Можно, да, я не буду вставать? Поприветствовать всех, кто пришел и что не остались равнодушными к этому событию. Ну и в первую очередь хочу сказать сразу, что очень многие сейчас начинают говорить и считать, что Крис для меня проходной боец и очень слабый. Хочу рассказать одну историю, пока Питер Нельсон по-русски не понимает. Так что я расскажу вам эту историю. Знаете, никогда не знаешь, что произойдет в ринге, пока соперники не выйдут в ринг. Перед боем с Брэдли я был мясом, я был проходным соперником для него. И HBO не хотели давать этот бой. Они последние, кто согласились на это. Но после боя, первым, кто пришел ко мне в раздевалку, сел передо мной и сказал: Руслан, ты звезда, следующий бой снова на HBO. Это был Питер Нельсон. Я проиграл тот бой с Брэдли, но он стал очень известным и на утро проснулся очень известным. Поэтому история бокса знает немало таких историй, когда полный оппонент становился чемпионом и звездой, да? Поэтому ни в коем случае не считайте Криса слабым соперником или проходным. По крайней мере, я к нему так не отношусь. Это первая моя защита, она очень волнительная. И я не думаю о том, как сохранить этот титул. Я не держусь за него. Я думаю о том, как я стал чемпионом. Мне это было очень тяжело. То есть мне пришлось пройти очень тяжелый путь. С самых низов и вот до сегодняшнего дня. То есть это кропотливый, тяжелый труд. Я приехал сюда, в Америку, без денег, без всего. То есть просто на одном желании, на одной вере, что это возможно. Хотя, знаете, порой даже и руки просто опускались уже, даже не было сил. Ну, есть, как знаете, я всегда говорю, что только идущий осилит дорогу. Поэтому для Криса это такой же шанс, как когда-то был для меня. И я помню, каким был я, когда выходил с этими чемпионами в ринг, отдавал себя всего и не боялся о том, что со мной произойдет в ринге. Я думал только о том, что если я проиграю, то что будет есть моя семья. То есть мне не хотелось подводить мою команду, которая делала все для того, чтобы я на сегодняшний день находился здесь. Поэтому я думаю, что Крис, скорее всего, относится точно так же к этому бою, к этому шансу. И я приложу все силы для того, чтобы выиграть в этом бою. Даже в случае поражения, я всегда говорю, чтобы мне не было стыдно ни за один момент. Чтобы ни один болельщик, который пришел, или моя команда, чтобы все, кто пришел, ушли с гордо поднятой головой. Это все, что я хотел сказать. Спасибо. Да, ну и, конечно, хочу поблагодарить всех, кто причастен к тому, чтобы этот бой состоялся в Barclays Center. То есть это Сергей Кущенко, это, соответственно, Михаил Прохоров, директор этого центра, Арти Пилула. Так что это здорово, что это будет проходить такой бой, да, впервые российский боксер будет драться на такой арене. Это здорово. Я думаю, что то есть для меня это еще одна дополнительная мотивация, потому что от меня ждут еще одного яркого и большого боя. Я постараюсь сделать все для того, чтобы вы все не остались довольны. Спасибо.
I want word for word.
He actually said that since Peter can't understand me, I'm going to say something I didn't say yesterday. So, but now I guess I have to translate. He said that after when he was training for the Timothy Bradley fight, it was his first fight on HBO, and he got the feeling that HBO didn't think that he was a worthy opponent for the fight. He got the feeling that maybe they didn't think, from the feedback from the fans, from the news, from the media, that maybe the fight might have even fallen apart, and maybe they would have chosen another opponent for Tim Bradley while he was training for that fight. But after the fight, when it was over, I lost the fight. Peter Nelson was the first one to come to my dressing room and tell me that, you're going to be fighting on HBO, you're going to be in very big fights, and it was a great fight. That signifies a lot for me. That fight, I was pretty much meat for Timothy Bradley. He was supposed to knock me out in the first round. He was supposed to go right through me. I think it went the other way. In this fight with Chris Algieri, I think that, for him, this is a chance just like it was for me at that time. And if he's willing to do everything that I was willing to do in that fight on June 14th, I think it's going to be a very, very tough fight for me. That's why I think that, just back then I knew, when I was walking into that ring, I knew that this is everything for me. If I don't win this fight, I might not have anything to feed my family with later. All I know is boxing, and that's the only way I live and the only way I survive. And I didn't want to disappoint my team. I knew that my team and the people that support me, they did everything they could for me to win this fight. And I knew that I had to give it all, and if I had to, I would die in that ring, but I needed to make sure that I did not disappoint my fans and my team. If he's not going to be this way in this fight, he's going to have a very slim chance. So I hope that he's motivated as much as I was motivated back then. And I'm training for that fight with that thought in mind, because I know what kind of a state of mind that is to be in. So I want to make sure that I'm staying that way in this fight while I'm defending my title as well. That's pretty much.
Was that word for word?
No. I could do word for word, but it's going to be more expensive.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Sure.
У меня вопрос к господину Проводникову, но я бы хотела, чтобы его переводили одновременно на английский, потому что тот же вопрос я бы хотела задать Крису.
Сейчас, извиняюсь, еще там благодарность была, и потом...
Я не говорила слово про благодарность.
Ruslan говорил, я просто переведу до конца. Also, Ruslan said he's very thankful, he's glad and honored to be fighting at the Barclays Center. He's very thankful to everybody who helped make this happen. Sergei Kushenko, there's Mikhail Prokhorov. He knows that these people, gave him the support and made sure that this occurred. He's thankful to everybody who's here from the Barclays Center. He's thankful to Brett, the director of the Barclays Center. Obviously, our promoter, Artie Pulula, Banner Promotions. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be here right now. That was very important. He's been with me all my career. Everybody else, all the other promoters, I want to say a big thank you to everybody. I'm very glad to be fighting in Brooklyn.
So you knew more than he did? You remembered more than he did? She told you what to say?
No, I was translating.
Okay.
She said it then.
Вы меня извините за то, что я думаю, что вы закончили. Я бы хотела, чтобы вопрос, который я задам, был переведен к Крису, потому что это будет один и тот же вопрос на английском. На Олимпийских играх в Сочи главными соперниками были между командами России и Америки. Для россиян, как всегда, победа носила не только спортивный, но и политический характер, судя по тому, как реагировал на все господин президент Путин. Для вас лично, господин Проводников, Ваш поединок с американцем – это ваш личный бой? Чувствуете ли вы, что представляя не только лично, но и свою страну, и что ваша победа – это победа не только Проводникова над Америкой, над Алгиери, но победа России над Америкой? Vice versa.
Chris, I'll translate the question. It's the same question for both of you. She asked if you guys were watching the Olympics in Sochi. To some people, including the president of Russia, in her opinion, there was the American team and the Russian team, especially in boxing, were competing, and if they, some people take it as a political competition, except for the fact that it's athletes competing between each other. Do you take this fight and a win in this fight as your personal win, or do you consider the political background as well? Maybe Ruslan will answer this.
Вы знаете, я не хочу, чтобы сюда мешали политику, то есть я очень хорошо отношусь к Америке, я ее уважаю искренне, то есть когда первый раз приехал, мне она просто понравилась, то есть я увидел, насколько Россия отстает от Америки, не только вот в экономическом плане, то есть, мне здесь очень много друзей, которые меня, американцев, которые меня искренне любят. То есть вот тут же также вот сидит Питер Нельсон с HBO, американец, он очень хорошо ко мне относится. И многие другие приезжают, белые американцы на мои бои, за меня болеют. Не надо как бы из этого делать что-то там. Для меня очень важна эта победа, почему? Не только лично для меня, а выиграть почему? Потому что для меня равняется мой народ, мантия. Они во мне видят больше, чем сейчас там простого какого-то уличного пацана. Я для них стал каким-то вдохновлением. Нас всего осталось 7 тысяч. Манси, они уже вымирают, то есть они занимаются в основном оленеводством, рыбалкой. То есть я единственный такой в своем роде, своего народа. Представляете, да? У нас 7 тысяч, да, они оленеводы, рыбаки, а я вот чемпион мира. То есть, представляете, то есть они очень много, дети очень много пьют. Уже как бы, да, то есть я не хочу это все задевать. Поэтому я вот стал для своего народа таким вдохновлением, как в свое время, наверное, стал там Мухаммед Али. Да, я после моей победы за звание чемпиона мира губернатор Французского округа Наталья Владимировна моему поселку подарила спортивный комплекс быстро возводимый, который будет называться моим именем. Этим я горжусь, потому что это надолго, и туда будут ходить дети. Я никогда не думал и не мечтал, что когда-нибудь вот так возьмут и за мой труд и за мою работу подарят моему поселку спортивный комплекс, где будут расти дети. То есть я этим горжусь. Поэтому, нет ничего личного. Это просто моя работа. Я благодаря этому изменил свою судьбу и обеспечиваю свою семью. Я думаю, что если бы не бокс, ничего хорошего из меня бы не вышло, потому что я в свои 10 лет до того, как попал в бокс, я токсикоманил, я воровал, да, это все было, то есть я очень рано попробовал алкоголь. И только когда попал в бокс, мой тренер, Есей Швакуев, который меня вырастил, он нашел ко мне вот эти ниточки и сказал: Руслан, я тебе могу помочь, но если ты сам не захочешь, я не смогу этого сделать, ты можешь изменить свою судьбу. Только если ты сам этого захочешь. Я ему поверил, сегодня я сижу здесь. Так что...
Браво! 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 Молодец!
I don't want to...
Excuse me, please, it's possible?
Yeah, but we want to translate it for people like me. I'm sorry.
I don't want to get politics involved in this at all. This is just a sport. That has nothing to do with this. I fight in the United States. I've been fighting here for 6-7 years. There's American people in my team. There's American people that support me all over the United States. To me, it makes no difference where the person is from or where the people are from. For me, this is just a sport, and we're fighting. And between us, it's personal, but not between our countries, not at all. I'm from Khanty-Mansiysk, from Beryozovo. Beryozovo is a small village-type town, only 7,000 people. I fight for my people. They care about me, and it means a lot to me. I come back to my hometown every single time after the fight. The governor of the city of our region supports me a lot. After my last fight, I became a world champion. She donated money to build a sport complex in my hometown, which will be named after me. to me, that's what's important. Those are the things that I do this for. You know, I do this for my family, for my people. I do this for the fans all over the world, not only for the Russian fans. You know, I want to make sure that we look at this as a sport and as something that people can enjoy. And you know, some people will support the other side, some people will support me, but that's what it's about. My trainer, Evgeny Vakuev, he's the one, you know, my dad, when I used to fight a lot, I used to get in trouble a lot as a kid, he brought me to a gym. There's only one boxing gym in Berezovsk, probably still is. And he brought me to the gym and I started training when I was about 11 years old. And that changed my life. That's how I got to where I am today. I'm still thankful to him for that, and you know, that means a lot for me, and I want to give back to people like that and other people in my team. That's, you know, those personal things, those sentimental things are a lot important to me than politics overall.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I believe Ruslan said it. You know, it does not matter. It does not matter to me whether American, Russian. I don't look at Ruslan as a Russian. I don't look at myself as an American. He's a man. I'm a man. We're both boxers. He's a champion. I want to be a champion, and that's really the end of the story. That's all there is to it. Politics don't fall into this sport, and it definitely doesn't fall into this situation.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Well, tickets will go on sale on Thursday, right, Barry? Thursday at 10 a.m. next Thursday. Doors open at 6. The first bout will be at 7. And we have a great undercard, a lot of kids from Brooklyn. We thank everybody for coming. The TV starts at 10, right, Pete? 10 o'clock. So thank you very much for coming. And we'll have a face-off with some pictures for the fighters. And if you want to do some more one-on-ones, not a problem. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. What do you want to do over here?
Yes.
Right here, guys.
Face off?
Really helping.
Снится сфотографировать. Сереж, и тебя сфотографировать. Сережа, слышишь меня? Я хочу с Нильсом сфотографироваться, взять у него интервью.